Ready? I'm sure. So, the first time I tried instant noodles, I was a kid. I gagged. I took the tomato sauce and I threw it over it just to hide the flavor. And my pathetic protests were laughed at by my family. I did not find it funny. But oh boy, could my family cook and eat. We'd always find a reason to celebrate. But through the years, the humble noodle made more of a regular appearance onto our plates. It wasn't fancy, but it slotted in perfectly with my family. I was 17, a kid in his final year of school. My dad, Lawrence, went to work one day in a suit, and the next he was simply home. Times around the dinner table became so quiet. When I looked at my dad, I could see a spark go out. Yet it'd still show up, not with a paycheck, but with food parcels from our local church, Little Falls Christian Center. Always with the basics, and tucked away in the corner, a packet of noodles. Like a quiet apology, I hated them because they reminded me that we weren't okay anymore. But there was nothing I could add, just the noodles. I gagged, I swallowed. Hunger has a way of humbling you. Why me when it looked like my friends had perfect lives? And then we all know the following one, Mr. Delivery. My dad got a job delivering food. A man who once managed teams was now delivering meals to strangers. Yet every afternoon he would set out, cap drawn low, shoulders square, and he would never, ever apologize. Hope was at the door. A friend offered him a sales job. It wasn't much, but I could see something light up on the inside of him, as if life had not given up on him yet. I needed to believe that. I turned 19, drop a friend off after movies. My phone buzzed. It was a voice note. My dad had passed away in the kitchen. I drove home, hands shaking, trying to outrun the truth, but it had already arrived. There was now an empty chair at the table then on. My brother Michael was working long hours. My mom, Valerie, tried to keep us together, and my sister was still at school. I was a varsity scholarship student. We had food, we had noodles, but I felt hollow on the inside. We discovered that my dad had cancelled his life insurance, and he hadn't been able to pay the bond for several months. So the house that I grew up in had to be sold. The walls that kept us together, they were gone. And it felt as if I was losing my dad all over again. Yet, I was not alone. I had my Bible study friends with me. They cried with me, they laughed with me, they prayed with me. They would pick me up when some days I just wanted to fall, and no words were ever required. Some evenings I would sit with a bowl in my lap, and I would imagine his hand on my shoulder and him whispering to me, "My boy, we'll get through this together." But it's just me, the ache, and the memory of a man who never, ever stopped trying. So, I turned 43 yesterday, but I'm still 19 on the inside. That boy learned how to stretch a budget, how to cry without making a sound. He carried a story heavier than any school bag, a story of loss and a story of survival. I've come to appreciate the small things, to celebrate the many blessings that came our way. My family and I, we came through the darkest times together. Our table may have been humble, but it was always full of love. I pause and I ask myself, how can I appreciate life as is? How can I embrace all facets of life, both the bitter and the sweet? How can I show empathy and kindness to those around me, like the kind I received when I was younger? My dad, Lawrence, he didn't leave behind wealth, but he left behind something more important than that. He left behind love, humility, and a perseverance that does not require an applause. My dad taught me that to be a provider, it's not about what you earn, it's about how you show up and how you give. And I see you in the traffic. I see you in the queue next to me in the store. Each one of you is carrying your own burdens, struggles simmering beneath the surface. Your stories matter, even if you haven't found the words yet to tell them. I've come to like the noodle, not for the taste, I tell you, but for the memories. Every spoonful a reminder of my father's love, of how far I've come, and also lessons learned between laughter, hunger, and humble meals. What once made me nauseous now grounds me. A seedling of hope sprouting from a fell tree, reminding me that life and time constantly moves forward, that a story of loss has now become a legacy. So, here's to the humble noodle, to food parcels that fed us, to fathers who loved fiercely, and families that prayed, to each one of us learning to swallow our stories with grace and gratitude, knowing that even the bitter can taste like love. Thank you.
Whoa! Beautiful. Oh, flowery. So I don't think I'm ever going to eat noodles without thinking of Anthony. You? Right? Absolutely. And now, in fact, when I think of Anthony, I'm going to think of my father who died during COVID, and I had a big lump in my throat. Beautiful story. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to Anthony.